Hey everybody, I'm Katie Arroyo.
And I'm Laura Manaswich.
And this is Pinky Promise.
Not one of our better ones.
No, that's all right. This is a podcast about growing up. We'll get there.
We have plenty of time. We have a guest today, special guest, super excited to have him. We have Boston comic and my friend, Sam Ike. Hi, Sam.
Hey! Thanks for having me.
That was a nice welcome.
Yeah, you're good
I felt
at this.
welcomed by you saying hello.
It's like you practiced it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had a few takes.
I like it.
Like Well, we're talking about the mall today. Big
That's
fans. Right. The three of us are big fans of. I actually hate it now, but in my youth, I loved the mall.
Yeah, for me,
Katie?
The mall was the place to go. Like before you had your driver's license, that was the only place to go. We had one place called Funscape, which was basically like a knockoff. What the fuck's it called? It's just like it was like an arcade type thing with like laser tag. So we would try to get dropped off there, but also no one really had money to do anything. So we would just like walk around and they'd be annoyed that we weren't buying anything. So we moved on to the mall where we could more easily walk around and not buy anything for hours and hours.
Split a pretzel.
Yeah. Meet in the courtyard and share one giant plate of Chinese food from the food court.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, I do love a mall food court.
Yeah.
So many upset parents and wild children in the food court.
Don't you feel like now that you're older that like I thought we were fine, and like now when I go to the mall as an adult, I'm like, oh, when I see groups of teenagers, and I have to remember like that was me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, we were fucking annoying. Like all we did was walk back and forth and not buy anything. And then for a while I was part of like a hardcore scene where I was the person walking around with a kid with like a foot long green mohawk, and like we looked like kids in movies that did bad stuff or whatever, even though we were just really doing nothing but like
just loitering at the mall.
No store wanted to have us in the store.
No, I mean, I feel like going to the store was a secondary part. It was just a place to be seen.
Yeah,
and look at kids who didn't go to your school.
Yeah.
We would like walk around, and then it was like going to a club. Like you would walk around and then you'd be like, oh, I heard so and so's here. I saw them over by the Ann Taylor. And then, and if it was like your crush, you would be like, all right, I'm gonna try to what store is near Ann Taylor that we can just hover in for 45 minutes.
Yeah, like let's do a lap before we commit to any one zone of the mall, you know.
Yeah.
Sam, you were a mall rat.
I just love the idea of just like of people like staking out Ann Taylor to see your high school crush.
Whatever it takes to like, not talk to them. I don't want to talk to them. I'm going to see them.
I'm only interested in dudes that like Ann Taylor.
Exactly.
Your English teacher comes in to buy a sweater and she's like, fuck, no, not today. It's a Saturday.
That was always really funny when you saw like one of your teachers at the mall and then you just like slowly followed them like, just to see what like I don't know what I'm expecting to see, finding out that my history teacher got some slacks and a hammer at Sears, but I mean, I followed him.
We did the same thing, and it was like just having like there was something about seeing your teachers, and you would think that as you got older, it got like less fantastic. But just seeing your teachers be people was like so fascinating to us. Or we'd be like, dude, did you see so-and-so? Should they eat from Subway? And that teacher's like, I'm making $30,000 a year. I just want to eat my fucking yoga mat Subway sandwich in peace. And I want to buy my chinos. I want to cry.
Yeah, I guess, right. Our teachers weren't shopping at Ann Taylor. Maybe the Loft, but certainly not rich lady Ann Taylor.
I remember I had a teacher.
I saw when I was like in elementary.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say when I was like in elementary
delay
school.
is crushing us today.
I know. I'm sorry. In elementary school, I had a teacher who I saw in Greenwich Village one time in New York City. Like, my parents took us into the city, and I like booked it down the street away from my family. And my parents were like, "Well, why is our asshole kid like running to strangers sitting outside at a cafe?" And I was like, "It's my music teacher," who I'm sure was like 25 and trying to day drink in New York. And I was like, "Hello, it's me. A reminder of your reality. We're friends." My parents were like, "All right, let's leave this woman alone."
It really was like, if you saw your teachers in the mall, it was like a rare like National Geographic sighting. Like, you would just be like, I saw Mrs. Smith walking by Express. Do you think she wears Express jeans on the weekend?
Oh, and then you would always judge their spouse.
Oh,
yeah. Like, oh, wow, did you see her boyfriend?
Yeah.
Like, her boyfriend's Cuban and 8 feet tall, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. If they had a hot significant other, you were like, that teacher got respect.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Or you'd be like, how?
Or you'd see two teachers out at the mall together, and you'd be like, what? Them? Like, that was otherworldly.
We actually, this didn't happen at the mall, but we had a scandal where there was a really pretty math teacher, and she was like dating the tech ed teacher. And then I don't remember if she coached gym or something, but he apparently, the rumor going around the students was that he had cheated on her. And then she had like gotten drunk at some party, like a staff party. So, but like somehow that got down to the students. And I remember just thinking, like, how shitty is your fucking day that like your significant other cheated on you, you work with him, and now like all these like 16-year-olds are like, we're really sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, who's the adult that let that get out? Because that's their bad.
Yeah. We're like, we're sorry, but you flashed someone at the party? That was crazy. So
did anyone have mall romances?
Yeah, but we had mall, like, we would just come in different groups, and then you would try to see someone from the other group like walking around that you wanted to talk to. So like if you weren't really friends with them, you would try to like hope you pass them, and then be like, oh, if you like want, I don't know, like if you'd want to, but like if you did want to, we could like maybe meet up in like the courtyard. Like, do you eat food? Like if you eat food, like we could eat it together.
Sure. Yeah. That's nice.
What I'm always interested in what makes a good mall. Like, I think it has to be at least 2 floors.
Yes.
Like if it's 1 floor, that's awful.
You can't do a lot of pacing there. You're like, you'll lap that mall in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You can only spend so much time in Bath and Body Works before it's like you've sniffed everything, you have a migraine. Like, it's time.
Yeah, you have to have an escalator to have a good mall.
Yeah,
that's right.
Our the mall that I grew up with, like, I didn't realize that this wasn't the norm. They were like, they're still working on it apparently, but they are like in competition with Mall of America. So we were just like in upstate New York, and they were like developing this huge mall. So it had it's called the Carousel Center. So it had like a huge carousel that was like it was a vintage carousel from the 20s, and they like put it in this mall. And then it had like 4 floors or 4 or 5 floors, because there are like now it's even crazier. Like you can't even they have like buses that will take you from parking lots to the mall.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Wow. So there's no such thing as like running in and grabbing something, which that happened while I was gone. And then I came home and I was like, where's my mall? Like, where's my sweet little mall? Yeah. But it had like two, actually this is a crazy mall story that I totally forgot about. It had like this everything, wings came off of this central area, like floor mall wings or whatever, and in the center there were 4 glass elevators, so you could ride the elevator like all the way up to the top was like the movie theater, and then the 3rd floor was like nothing, but eventually would be something, and then the 2nd floor was stores, and then the 1st floor was stores, and then there was like a basement. And in the basement of that area, that's where they used to do like pictures with Santa, and they also had like courtyard tables and stuff like that, so you could eat down there. And this girl that was one of my friends in high school, she and her sister, when they were like 14, were sitting at the table, and some dude committed suicide by jumping over one of the balconies and like landed on their table.
Oh my god.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Yeah, that's I saw that happen in a variation of that. I worked at the information booth at the mall, and a woman jumped off from the 2nd floor.
Oh my god!
And landed right in front of my booth. It was
how old were you?
Oh, I think this was like after freshman year of college. Okay. So I think I was like 19, maybe I was 20. And she jumped off and landed right in front of the information booth. It was the craziest.
I can't even imagine.
It was the craziest thing. I never seen anything like it. It was jarring. It was one of those things where it's like, even when I describe it to people, I'm like, wow, I can't believe that really did happen. I saw that. Like, I was like, I forget that I was even there. Like,
your brain is like, your brain's like, it's too crazy. Like, with that girl, I'd be like, this or that. Like, I'm like, but she just walks around like normal. What do you mean that happened? It's so crazy.
I saw so many random stuff being.
So did you guys like? But did you guys like run out to her, or like what? Like what?
I mean,
happened?
You didn't. I mean, well, we weren't really worried about her going anywhere. She was kind of.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, not even running. Like, if someone run out to like do CPR, or like I don't even know, like what.
I mean, she didn't really have a breathing problem either. It was more of a skull hitting the floor kind of thing, you know? Like, yeah. You don't really have to, to breathe into her
You're
mouth.
like, there's nothing to do.
You kind of
I
just
like how eloquently you tried to put that. You're like, how do I say?
She didn't have a breathing problem. The problem had been addressed.
Yeah.
That's when you do what I call Italian. You do Italian CPR, because when we were like in our 20s, we went to Italy, two of my girlfriends and I, and we were on like a train, and there was like some kind of moped accident, and it looked bad, and we were like, what the fuck? Because we look out the window, and instead of like administering medical attention, they were like, they emergently called a priest over, and the priest just started praying over the person. And we're like, what's that? God. Like Italian CPR? Like, you don't, you're just like, I'm going to make sure your soul gets into heaven, okay?
You just keep one strapped in the ambulance next to the gauze. It's like, just unpack the priest, send him out.
That's so crazy.
Wow, that's nuts.
So how long did you work at the information booth, Sam?
Let's see. I think I worked there like 9 months. I worked there most of a year. I saw a jewelry robbery. That was pretty wild.
And how did you know that it had happened? Like the person ran out?
Yeah. I was working. Yeah.
like someone came out and said, "We've been robbed."
I was exactly what I was gonna say. Was it a case where you were like, "Oh, I heard a rumor," or were you actually like, "That dude"?
Yeah. No, I was sitting at the booth and I saw a guy running. And then I saw another guy yell at him, and he was like kind of running, but not really chasing him. And it became apparent that guy was holding something big in it, in his arms. And I guess what happened was he asked to look at some stuff and just did a big snatch and grab, and
Wow.
And then took off. I'm assuming they caught him. I mean, he ran through, like, it wasn't a really like well executed heist. I didn't see like a getaway car or anything. Like,
I had some notes.
Yeah.
Like, I've been in this booth a while. Let me tell you how it's done.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to be very confident in your physical fitness levels to like think that you can run through an entire mall.
Yeah.
And get out.
You gotta go for an end cap. Like, if I was gonna run, steal from a mall, it would be like a Macy's on the end, and just out the door. And then I just get caught in the parking lot, if we're being realistic. But
well, I mean, and also, like, if you steal from the store, they're not supposed to do anything once you leave the store.
Yeah.
So you do have some leeway, but it's also just a thing of like, where are you gonna go? Because you have to get out of the mall. There's cameras at every door, and then you got to get in your car. So you got to hope that you parked like in a good spot, and then drive off. But it's like, I mean, you know, I grew up in not a city and not a beach town in New England. Like, the malls are like, they're pretty far away from like anything, like any I guess you could get on the highway, but it's like pretty obvious where you're going. So it just seems.
And then at that point, a hassle. Like, at that point, what are you like? The risk versus like when you pawn jewelry. Like, these people aren't feeling like, you know, $60,000 pieces. They're just like, I'll give you $50 for this engagement ring.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just seemed, that always seemed strange. But yeah, I've seen that was like the most blatant one I ever seen. I saw one guy get arrested, but I don't know what he did. I just saw a guy in handcuffs getting taken out. That was about it. But I worked a few jobs at the mall. Like, I worked at Abercrombie and Fitch.
Oh, I feel like anyone that worked there was like the coolest.
I'm pretty sure they just hired me for a diversity. Like, I don't.
Sure.
I'm like pretty confident that they hired me just because I was the only black person that applied. Like, I think that was.
They were
I think
like,
that was it.
Can you throw a football shirtless in front of the store?
Yeah. Do you still smell like their cologne? I imagine that doesn't leave you. It was.
I used to have so many bottles of that cologne. Like, up until I was like, I worked there when I was like 16, and I think I was using Abercrombie cologne until I was like 23. Like, I just I had so much of it. Like,
yeah,
maybe even longer.
Yeah.
Like,
did you guys do like, so in our school, whoever worked at Abercrombie was like responsible for helping the entire school shoplift, and when they would cash them out, they would like not cash out all of their items, and that was like a huge scam running out of specifically Abercrombie in my high school. And so like everyone was running around in Abercrombie, and 20% of it was paid for.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I worked the inventory part of it. Okay. So like, which was like, they were like, do you want to work up front, or do you want to count in the back? And I was like, you mean I just stand there in the back and I just count sweaters? And they were like, yeah, you have to count all these sweaters. But I mean, the front's really fun. You get to talk to people and stuff. And I was like, wait, you're telling me that all I have to do is go stand in this room and I can listen to any music I want. I don't have to listen to this electronic fucking
cool guy music.
This like Daft Punk before Daft Punk, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I have to listen to that for 6 hours straight, and I have to be shirtless, and I have to try to convince people to buy, and I have to convince
to
people
buy a shirt.
Buy a shirt. Yeah.
Like, buy a shirt. I don't even use them.
or I can go into a room and count sweaters. Like I'm taking the count job.
We had very different. Like I had a very brief stint working at Express over a holiday season, and because it was seasonal, they weren't going to teach me how to do anything because they were like, we'll start you at the end of November. You'll be gone by New Year's. We're not going to train you. And all I wanted to do was like touch the buttons on the register. And they were like, ma'am, not a chance. Like, absolutely not. So my job was to touch all the sweaters, but in the front of the store. It was like harass people as they come in. Don't let anybody just browse on their own, get in their grill. And then like, I swear to God, if there's a small sweater in between a medium and a large sweater, somebody's ass is lit up for that. So it was like, put all the sweaters in the right order. I think like one time I got to let someone into a fitting room and I was like, oh, I've really done it. Like, look at me. But it was, I was like, oh, I actually hate this. And I never knew how to quit a job. I had never done that before. So my manager, who I'm sure was like 24 maybe, I was like, excuse me, how do I give my 2 weeks? She was like,
we just won't put you on the schedule.
She was like, I'm pretty sure you just did. And I was like, oh great, that was so simple. Okay, off to touch the
sweaters. Did you guys did you ever hear of a store called Northern Reflections?
Oh, no. It's like a mall head shop, right?
So they sell like t-shirts. I don't even know if they still exist, but
like
they
wolf shirts and
exactly,
shit, right?
They sold.
Oh, I've seen the wolf shirts.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So they sell, but like they're wolf shirts for like stay-at-home moms. You know what I mean? Like they're like classy, and they had a lot of ducks. Like there were duck shirts.
Yeah.
So my friend's mom was obsessed with that store, and she started working there over the summer because she worked for the school. And she was like, she was obsessed with us, her daughter and me working there with her over the summer. And she was like, I got you guys a job. They're opening a new Northern Reflections. And we were like, okay, fine. And we were like not into it. And then we found out like the first day, they were like, you have to wear the Northern Reflection clothes. Yeah. And we were like, no. And I remember, and we had to pay for it. And I remember being like, do you have any t-shirts that like don't have a duck on it? And then we had to buy like and we were 15. We were 15 or like 15 or 16, and we were in that store literally like paranoid that someone we knew was gonna walk in or like walk by and like see us in the duck shirt. And I remember I spent like that whole summer just fucking folding duck shirts and making sure the ducks were like all in the same spot on the shirt. And like to this day, I refuse to neatly fold an article of clothing. Like, like I won't do it.
Fuck you, shirts. No.
Yeah, you're gonna be in a ball.
Yeah, I when I was like in my early 20s, I had a second job at a candy store that is like obsessed with remembering the olden days, essentially. And so you have to wear khakis and a white button-down shirt. And if you tried, you couldn't try any harder to find something like a combo that looked worse on my body. And so I was like, I only worked on the weekends, and I only had like the one pair of barely khakis and the one white shirt. And I was like, I'm making $10 an hour. Like, hey, if you want me to wear this, I need you to buy it for me, because now I have to spend money on like shitty, like I just look like a milkman down on his luck. Like,
and they were like, that's cute, we're not gonna do it. So
no,
we'll see on Saturday.
Yeah. Like, oh, you got a stain on your shirt, bleach it. And you're like, no. I'll quit. Thank you.
The candy store for us was like, that was one of the stores in the mall when we were like 14 that we could afford things from.
Sure.
So like that was one of our stops. We would walk up and down the mall, walk into Victoria's Secret and maybe buy one pair of underwear and feel very scandalous about it. And then go buy candy. And then just like, I would buy like Sour Patch Peaches or any kind of gummy candy. And then we'd walk around the mall with our little sticky sugar fingers, like touching all these clothes that we can't afford or won't buy.
That's right. That's right.
Victoria's Secret was always funny for like teenage boys because there was always this aspect of like, ooh, you went to Victoria's Secret. Did you see a pussy?
Yeah. I think we thought they were just in there. Like,
yeah.
Welcome. Please take off your pants. Thank you.
Like, I think we all like. Didn't you feel like if you walked in, they would be like, "Hi, welcome to Victoria's Secret. Lotion on the left, naked broads on the right."
Yeah.
Well, and now they just have a whole fucking line of sweatpants. So now, like, I don't even know what's still sexy in that store. 'Cause it's like, do you want to dress like an oversized cotton candy? We can help. It's like, okay, great.
You know, your butt needs words.
Yeah, right. Everyone's butt needs words. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like how Victoria's Secret is like gradually like, you know, aged in from like it's aged itself. Like it started off as like this young flirty girl was like, I'm going out, and now they're like, no, I just need something comfortable while I'm lounging. Like, it's like I just want to go to bed. Like,
it really has.
I have cramps, but make them sexy.
I have cramps, but me and my boyfriend are still new, so
yeah, right. I'm still trying. Yeah. I do like, I mean, and I very rarely am in a mall now because I find them infuriating, but like when you still see like the grumpy face, like, whoa, my wife's looking at bras, like those face guys, I just want to be like, get a new bit. This one's tired.
You're like, the boobs are on the right.
Yeah, right. Sorry, maybe sniff a lotion. I don't know.
I did feel like when because we used to, you know, every girl did Bath and Body Works something, so you'd like have to find your signature scent, but really there's only 5 scents, so you'd be like, no, I'm Plumeria. I'm not Sweet Pea, I'm Plumeria. I have a dark breeze. I was Plumeria.
Yeah.
But we like, I feel like once Victoria's Secret started doing fragrances, it was like if you were mature, you would be like, oh, I don't, oh, Bath and Body Works, you're still doing that. I do a Gap fragrance. I'm grass.
I was Dream. Yeah, Dream. My Gap fragrance was Dream.
I think I was Dream too. And I'm like, who is grass? Like, who's wearing this grass?
No.
Oh, it was so bad.
So Sam, when you were working in the mall, did you have like stores that you had to hit up on your mall trips? And who was your mall crew of friends?
Yeah, like did you have a mall crew?
Oh yeah. I had I pretty much any of my friends, like I would say half my friends worked at the mall and then the other half would go there. And that was pretty much
your social scene. Yeah.
That was my whole social scene. The stores that I liked going to the most. Let's see. Well, I love the food court. Sure. Love the movie theater.
Yeah.
Love the movie theater. There were always I was always like, now looking back on it, like I mean, there were places that I always went to. Like I always went to Hot Topic or Spencer to see what was there.
Yeah.
And then I always went to like the video game store, even though I didn't really play video games, but I just went just because I felt like I was supposed to.
And social norms, yeah.
But like the stores I always found so interesting were the ones that like, why is this in the mall? Like I remember there was an army recruitment, like. And I would go there and I'll look because they would have like video games because they were trying to get young people to join.
Sucker you
wow,
yeah. So they always had video games, and then I would play, and then, you know, and then someone would ask me, like, how old am I? And I'm like, I'm 15. They're like, all right, well, in 3 years, like,
yeah.
we got a gig for you.
You're like, and that's how I joined the army.
Yeah.
I just want to try out the new Wii.
You know, I always thought that was funny. This there was always like a Dominican like clothing store,
okay,
where they would just be blasting all this like Dominican hip hop, and it was like it really felt like you were seeing somebody's house, and they were just selling like everything in their house, because like you would walk in and it was like they would have all these like designer clothes, they would have all these like Dominican flags everywhere, there'll be candles, there'll be like some guy would be like doing people's hair, like it was like
it was like hanging. You could buy like $8 jeans that didn't have a waist gap because they were made for women that had curvy bodies.
Yeah. Like it was legit. It was the only place I knew where I could easily buy like FUBU jerseys, you know.
Yeah.
The upstate New York version of that for us was, which I find refreshing, that they still exist in every mall, no matter what, throughout the years. Where like the stores where you could buy Grateful Dead tie-dye shirts, tie-dye shirts that also had wolves on them, but like a different brand of wolf.
And this game with the sticks.
Yes. Yes. And then incense and like lava lamps, but it wasn't censors. It was just like there were a lot of dream catchers.
Yeah. It was not big enough for how much incense they were constantly burning.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always amazed at like the seasonal pop-ups. Like I'm like, okay, it's about to be December. Well, I know if I go to the mall right now, there's like a weird puzzles and calendars pop up that'll be gone in January, like 2 weeks after that thing. Or there's like I don't know, like it's not a spirit, but it's just like shit like that where you're like, well, I see them in here twice a year. I don't know if they get like a temporary rent situation, like what they just have rooms to fill that they're like, yeah, okay, what weird shit you want to hawk, okay.
But also, like, do those stores, do you sell enough calendars to support you for the entire year, or they
can't possibly?
What are the other 11
get
months?
A kiosk, know your limits, get a kiosk and harass the passerby. Do you want lotion or a cell phone case? No. I'll take my phone out and pretend to be on a call, actually.
Oh, also one of my other favorite things, I forgot to mention, one of my favorite things while working the information booth was that I got to do the mall announcements. And that was the shit.
Was that your taste? Was that your taste of the mic?
I guess so now I think about it. But it was
do one for us.
My favorite.
Tell us what your announcements were.
I wish they had a binder. They had a binder for everything you were supposed to say. So it was like, you know, attention shoppers, but here at the Solomon Pond Mall, we will be closing at 9:30. You know, get your belongings, all that shit. And then it was like, if you need to buy a Visa gift card, well, you could see us over here at the information booth right in front of Sears. And then, but the parts that I really liked were the parts where I had to go find someone, because it was because there was always a missing kid or a missing grandma. Like every other shift, somebody's kid or grandmother was missing.
Yeah.
And I got to do that. And the thing that always made me laugh was this would happen pretty frequently. Someone will come in and they'll go, my kid's missing. And I go, oh, yikes.
Good response.
Yeah, it seems like
yowie,
a big problem.
Wowie. Wowzer.
Oops.
Sounds tough, yeah.
So I go, what's their name? And then I'd write down their name. And then I would say the name over the intercom. And then that person would go, okay, they might be at GameStop. I'm going to go there. And then they would just leave. And I'm like, I just told them to come here.
Here, yeah.
And then the kid would come. And then I'd be like, well, I don't know where your parents are.
Now the kid's like,
okay, what's your mom's name?
Mom
I'll pay her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then kid's like, I can't find my mom. And I go, oops.
Yikes. Wowza.
And that happened like so often.
That I don't know, like if they think like when they go to the information booth that the kid will just appear. Like,
right? Do you have him? It's like, no, your kid didn't think to come here.
But also, just, wait a minute.
Oh, that was another thing I did. I did Lost and Found too. I forgot all about that.
You guys were like, you're in the heart of the mall.
Dude, we were the bedrock of the mall.
Did you work alone or did you always have somebody with you?
You had someone with you for like the first week or two, and then you were on your own.
Oh, yeah.
It was like maybe the first few. Yeah.
Was Lost and Found your favorite store in the mall?
Lost and Found was the best. Are you kidding me? Because it was always like a scarf. It was like one glove, and then it would be like something someone just bought. Like it was like every time I would look in the bin of the Lost and Found, because if it was a wallet or an ID, we gave it to the security guards. But if it was anything else, we just had it in there. And I remember one time I opened up the drawer and I looked inside, and it was like it was like a scarf, it was like a hat, some gloves, and it was like a brand new Christina Aguilera CD. And then I looked up, and then there was these four girls, and they were like, "Hi, I don't know, did anyone return a Christina Aguilera CD?"
And you were like, yikes.
I was like, too bad, bitch, I'm listening to it.
Oops. Go check GameStop.
One time I got money. Like, a guy came up to me and he said, hey, I just found this. I don't know, maybe someone's going to be looking for it. And it was just $100.
Oh my God.
Like, it's a lot of money?
Yeah, it was just a lot of money. And
wow.
I was like, okay. And then I just put it in my pocket. When
you were like, one time I got money, I thought someone was like, thank you so much, here's some money.
I tipped you. Yeah.
Yeah. And at that time, $100 would probably be like, you're like, shit, that's my whole paycheck.
Yeah, it was like more than I made. It was amazing.
So did you guys?
I found $10 outside of Target a month ago, and it was like, should we find who? I was like, no, if we ask anybody, did you lose $10? They're going to say yes. This is our $10 now.
Mine.
Go ahead, Katie. I cut you off.
No, that's okay. I was gonna say, did you ever, like, when you were working in the, like, I always imagined, no, this didn't happen at Northern Reflections with the wolf shirts, but I always imagined that, like, all the people that worked in the mall would, like, they were like a secret social circle where they had like crushes on each other or were friends, or like, I always imagine it's like in the movies where they're like, Joey from Best Buy has a crush on Claudia from Claire's.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely, I think more of what it was there was always people that I worked with at the mall who were dating other people that worked at another part of the mall.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there was definitely a social circle. There definitely was like, sort of like, it was like Mean Girls. Like, you could go in and you could look at people and you could kind of tell what table they sat at. You know, like,
yeah,
like there was like every person who worked at the, like, that, like, what was it called? Like Brownstone or something like that, electronics store.
Yeah,
Brookstone.
That
like,
was a store we loved.
Yeah, and Brookstone was the best because you just sit there and get a massage and just play with like a robotic dog or something. And like, but everybody that worked there was like, most of the people that worked there were like 40-year-old divorced guys.
Yeah.
So it was like, like the store kind of dictated who was there.
Brookstone really was like Sky Mall on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Like it was, you just, like my ice cube tray can tell the temperature. You don't fucking need it to do that, but if you've got $85, sure. Okay.
Which, like, I don't even know. I think they only just recently closed, like within 5 years. I don't understand how they were surviving until then, because I've never seen anyone, nor have I personally purchased anything from there.
No.
And I would be in there all the time.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah. They had so much shit. And I was like, who needs any of it? But like now it's very strange because like half the stuff that would be in that store is just Alexa. You know what I mean? It's like,
you're right. Yeah.
Like,
you're like, who needs all this? And we all have it.
Yeah. We just have one, not our whole house of it.
Yeah.
You're right. It would be like that. They'd be like, this is an alarm clock that tells you you're ugly when you wake up. You're like, I need
it. This hammock rubs my butt. Okay. Okay.
Do you want an electronic Pez dispenser?
We got you.
Yeah.
I do now.
You told me I need it. Yeah. This massage pillow fills the void of not having a girlfriend for 3 years.
You can program it to talk in your ex's voice.
Or your mom's.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember being like 14, and then one of my friends, like, her friend's older brother worked at Hot Topic, or he was just like, somehow she was like, we had been at the mall so much, like, and now we know he's a loser who works at Hot Topic who was like 17, but anybody was like willing to flirt with this like 14, 15-year-old. And I remember like we'd go into Hot Topic and be like, oh, we gotta try to look really cool while we're walking in to talk to this guy whose full-time job is selling t-shirts.
He's older. It's cool.
He doesn't go to the school. He's just like, he's doing his own thing. But I remember like he was so cool. Like we were like, he's so cool. We have to like, I hope he's working today. And like you didn't have a cell phone, so you just like had to walk into the mall to see if he was working that night.
That's right. Yeah. I did have a friend who worked at Champ Sports, and it was like sort of in the Nike Shocks era. So I could fit into youth shoes, which were cheaper anyway, and then B, I would get that sweet friendship discount. So it was probably like the best time frame for my shoe game. And then we had to move on. But I just remember I was like, that was a good friend to have.
We used to just like go try on all the shoes at Steve Madden, but like not be able to afford them, but just try them all on.
Yeah. Do you remember the store 579, Katie? Did you have one of those?
Yes, we did.
What a fucking nightmare.
For me, I was a 00, so I was like, do you have anything smaller?
And I was larger than a 9, so I was like, this store's discriminatory.
Yeah. I remember. I think for me, I had a friend that had boobs, and she was a size 9, and I just wanted to be a 9. Like I was like, I would love to be a 9 because she has hips and boobs, and like looks amazing. And I remember like realizing I had grown up because I had sized out of 5'7". Like I was like, oh no, I barely fit. I remember the shorts that did it. They were like little white shorts that had like roses on them, and I was like trying to squeeze my fucking ass into those shorts, and then I was like, I think I'm a woman now. Like I don't fit in this store.
Give me an even size pant.
Give me a 10.
That's how you know you're a woman. I tried to get a job at Structure. I think when I was 17, so I was like, Structure is where hot men shop. I should work there.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
You have to be 18. And I was like, to sell a sweater to a man, I have to be 18. But I did, unfortunately. Like, fine, I'll go sell pizza to whoever the fuck. I only have to be 16 for that.
Yeah, because that sweater, I don't know if you realize this, Laura, but that sweater was actually R-rated.
Yeah.
It
I don't know if you
fuck on the back of it.
Fucking happened near that sweater.
I was like, yeah, is this just because the person who's gonna buy it from me will be a creep and they'd prefer if I was not a child? Okay.
And they're like, no, they want you to be 16, but they'll take 18.
18 looks younger. Great.
Do you got any outfits at 5'7" you can wear?
No, I have the ass of a 30-year-old. I can't.
I can't believe that was a store. So Sam, this store literally only sold clothes up to a size 9, and their 9s were really like an 8, I would say. So they basically, and they had like double zeros and zeros, but it was like no one had a problem with the fact that this store was just like, these are the 3 sizes that we sell.
Teens should be small.
But they were for adults though. I think it was an adult clothing store. It was just like such a weird thing. I remember that store, and it was just like no one had a problem with it. We were just like, yeah, you can't buy those from 579. That sucks. You ate too many cookies.
Gotta get crazy to think the personality store.
Yeah.
So crazy to think that place is still in business.
I think 5.
I have no idea. I
was like, no, it didn't make it out of the 90s.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, I was saying that's a store that I don't expect Sam to know that store.
No, I don't think the people who made that store want anyone to remember it. It's like, oh, we've done shame. But
who the marketing for that was just like, well, what is the style of your store going to be? Just 579. Yeah. It's just so crazy.
Yeah.
We had a lot of Claire's. So our mall was so big, we had like 2 Bath and Body Works, or we had like kid Bath and Body Works where it just had like lotion and whatever. And then the mall was so big, we had a second Bath and Body Works that had like candles for your home. So like as you got older, you'd buy like candles for your bedroom. Mm-hmm. It would be very mature purchases only. And I don't know.
There is a sense of pride that comes with having your purchase like wrapped in tissue, and you're like,
yeah,
excuse me, I've purchased something breakable, so
I have to be careful. It's fragile. I'm a woman. Did you, Sam, did you have any mall crushes that you were like, anyone you were eyeballing from the information center?
I mean, that was all there was to do, was to just stare at people. But like the thing was like, I worked I had a job where everybody walked by me. So so it was like this strange thing where I never really talked to anyone. I was just in this circle by myself, but I would just stare at people like all day. I was just staring at girls like all day. Because
that's just, like pre-phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I would just wait. I would wait for girls to go down the escalator, and I would be like, "Oh, sweet, I get to look at girls." And then they would go down the escalator, and then I'm like, "All right, well, now I'm gonna be single for the rest of my life." Like it was pretty much that the whole time.
You're like, great. Now I wait for the next one.
Yeah.
Now, what prompted your leave from the information booth? When were you like, I have to move on?
Oh, it was that time. It was once. All right. So one time I was working there, and a woman tried to kill herself in front of me, and then I was like, I guess I got to leave the store.
Wait, different than the lady who actually did?
No, it was the same one. I can't believe you thought I was like, oh, I'm gonna stick around. What the hell is wrong?
Maybe you had a shift scheduled. I don't know.
Yeah. I was like, hey, can someone just switch for me the next day? I'll come back for the rest of the week.
All right, I guess fine.
Can I pick up more hours?
I was kind of like, well, I don't need this. This is stress I did not sign up for.
Who would have thought?
I guess when you say it like that, sure, fine.
I mean, I felt a similar stress because I had to fold so many shirts.
Yeah. I mean, I just know my ass would have worked there for 6 more months before I figured out that was like a valid excuse to get it.
I'd still be working there. I'd be like, I'm the manager of the information center.
And also, I was like, oh, a second person did that in front of me?
Yeah, because obviously, one time, that's just like a one-time thing. Like,
the one that didn't do it, like the one that didn't do it lands in front of him, and like the next one, Sam's like, you got to go a little to the left.
No, you know what? A second one, she did it, and she landed perfectly on her feet and was fine. And I was like, well, this is bullshit.
I'm out of here.
Is Brookstone hiring?
Yeah.
I cannot. Yeah, you're like, I need 10 minutes in that massage chair. I am stressed. I can't. I don't even know, like, because you're working in that booth by yourself too. Like, you don't even have someone to turn to and be like,
yeah. The whole time I'm sitting going, did you just see that? And then, but the person I'm talking to is 30 feet away from me. It's very bizarre.
I can't.
It's super weird.
I can't even imagine. And how early into the shift was it?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, man, I wish it was
like,
it was close to
you had to keep working.
It was close to the end because no, they allowed a leave of absence. They allowed me to just go.
Before you go, could you just do a couple announcements and then this lady missing her kid?
Well, what sort of benefits, like for trauma, does the mall information booth offer?
I think just early leave. They let you leave 10 minutes early.
Yeah. I know it was in the middle of the day. I remember that. And then I remembered later that night, I got a call and they wanted to know if I wanted to come into the mall and meet with a bunch of people to like talk about it and have like a counseling room. And then I was like, oh no, I don't know if you guys I'm not gonna come in ever. I don't let alone talk about it.
You're like, mail me my check.
Yeah, I was like, you think I'm gonna go there again? Are you crazy?
I was actually planning on burning the whole thing down this weekend.
Yeah, you like set down your gas tank and you're like, what time's the meeting?
I'm sitting there like, oh wow, well, it's about time you asked me because I was also like, what are we gonna do? It's 12 people. We all saw the same thing, and then we're all gonna go, yeah, that was crazy. Wasn't that crazy? Yeah. And then what? And then what happens? Like, I don't understand. What are we all?
And then talk about it from your respective angles of how you saw it happen. Like, it doesn't get better.
Yeah. I was like, this isn't. I was like, this isn't like anger management. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like
there's nothing to talk through.
Yeah, we're not gonna all hang out. It's not gonna become a sitcom or something. Like, I don't know.
Could you imagine? What a start to a sitcom that would be. So other people in the store saw it too. Like who was going to this meeting? Because I'm just picturing, I guess there's like people in kiosks or something like near the information booth.
Well, the other people working at the other stores, because I mean, was like, yeah, because this was, it was everybody. It was the other people working the kiosks, the security guard. Like, I mean, there was like, I mean, it was a full mall.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a decent amount of people that were working, and it's just like, yeah, everybody saw it. You know, everybody saw it, and then there was a long period of time in which we're all just standing there,
right,
and it's all dead quiet. We're just waiting for the EMTs to come, and it's like,
right.
No, like nobody knows exactly what you're supposed to do. And also we're all under the impression we're looking at a dead body. So like, we're like not, you know, like it was wild. And then
your like average age is 17.
Yeah. And like, it was nuts. It was so crazy.
So did she die?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I also want to say I did zero follow up after.
Fair.
You're like, I left.
Yeah. You took care of you, which is respectable.
She was at the meeting. You were like, no, I'm not going.
I was like, this is the person who caused all the trouble in the first place.
You're like, I'm mad at you.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not coming here.
You better be ready to apologize.
Caused all the trouble.
That is just wild. I just can't even imagine.
No.
Yeah, and just like the scene of it was gruesome.
I'm sure.
It was gross.
You gotta figure, like, if somebody gets like a little cut right here, like how much blood comes out of just like a forehead gash. I can't even.
Yeah.
Laura's like, no.
And the thing was, it wasn't even like, it wasn't. This was the part that like really got me, was that it's you hear a thud.
Yeah.
And then I see her on the ground, and then it's like there's like a pause.
Yeah.
And then you see blood flowing out. And that was like, it wasn't a splatter. It wasn't like, it was this boom. It's calm. Yeah. And that was, that was the thing that was the freakiest about it, was just how suddenly and like how like it just settled into stillness. Was like, that was the scariest part.
Yeah.
But
well, yikes.
But yeah, I mean,
we're like, so where can people find you, Sam?
That's right.
Is this recording? Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, oh, do you want me to do that again?
No. We're good. One take wonder. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. At least you were, I guess, 19 and not like 15, but still, I don't know.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild.
Oof. Yeah.
So,
on that note,
where can people find you online, Sam?
Sam's stand-up is just an hour of this story. So.
It's more spoken word.
I'm the Sam Ike on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, I don't have what's it called? TikTok. I don't have TikTok or Snapchat. I should get it, but I just
Sam. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do on it. I've never.
It's so intimidating.
I've never made an Instagram story, so like, I've never made an Instagram story, so like the idea of making like me doing karaoke videos is like, I'm not ready to go there yet.
Lot. Yeah, I downloaded TikTok and then I was like, "You're telling me I got a what?" And then I was like, "No, I'm a spectator on this site. I can't."
I'm not gonna learn blinding lights just to fucking just to get 80 followers. Like, it's not
80 followers that like don't translate into anything else. I made one video of my cat doing something and I timed it to music, and that took me like 35 minutes, and it was like I looked up from my phone and I was like, oh yeah, this can't be a thing that I do. I've just lost an hour of my life. Like I spent only 35 minutes sliding the music over to like make it match perfectly with my cat doing something. And I was like, no, this isn't gonna work.
Maybe there'll be a TikTok class at the community college or something. I'll take it up.
I'll take a summer course.
I can't self-teach. That's
yeah, we'll follow Sam because he is hilarious, even when he's talking about the mall. The mall murders.
Yeah. Follow Sam, follow us.
Yeah.
Like it, share it, subscribe. Have the time of your life with it.
Please give us the Christmas gift of sharing and subscribing and reviewing.
And fucking behave yourself in the mall, will you? If you have to go, just be nice.
And wait for your kid if you page him.
And if
we can just tell you two things. Don't murder yourself at the mall and wait for your kid.
And if you lose your Christina Aguilera CD, somebody else will pick it up.
Damn right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Pinky promise.